look, I only used to shoot headshots and regular portraits, birthday photos, senior sessions, family photos, and now I'm creating content for tourism boards, different brands, commercial brands, dream clients, and I want to show you and tell you how I made that pivot and how you can make that pivot too. First things first, I just used what I had. I started with what I had. I had a camera, I had some natural light, and I had a dream, I had a vision, just to be honest with you. I used what was around me. All you have is all you need when you're first starting out. So I had people, I had family, I had friends, I had associates. So most people wanted birthday photos. People wanted, celebrating events and different stuff. So I knew that I wanted to grow as a photographer, and later on I got into videography, but I just did what I did, and I used that to hone my skills and get my skills together until I was ready to scale just a little bit down and start pivoting. I learned everything through those sessions, whether it was client management, natural light, posing, composition, all that great stuff. But after a while, I really started becoming, unfulfilled. I wasn't excited taking photos and videos of just people and everything else. I started seeing more travel content, travel films. I started seeing more brand work and commercial stuff. I started looking at everything differently. I started looking at billboards and was like, oh, somebody had to shoot that. I started looking at commercials. Somebody had to shoot that. I started looking at ads and promo, and like somebody had to shoot that, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to transition into that, and I had to find a way and make up my mind. Fortunately for me, that was a leg up. My background is IT. So being in a place where I was in IT companies and working with end users and end clients and seeing how to find a problem, create the solution, and present the solution in a digestible way, it started to help me, and the wheels started to turn of like, oh wait, I could do this too. So this is where, strategy and execution meet together. So I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? So the golden nugget approach is like what I like. So I started making spec ads. I started shifting my portfolio. I started trimming things off my website. Certain things I wouldn't post on social media because I wanted to start attracting what I was looking for. So if I went on a trip, I funded it. Or if I was going on family vacation, I filmed it. I shot photos. I started buying products, staging them as if I was hired to shoot for everything. Then I started reaching out to small and big brands. I'm a person, high risk, high reward. I like to swing for the fences, but I will only swing for a fence where I know that I can capitalize on the moment. Oftentimes that we'll swing for something and we'll say yes to something that we cannot handle, or a check that we literally can't cash. Do not do that to yourself. The creative world is small, as big as the world is, and you never know who's connected to what. But that's just a little bit of advice. But yeah, you can start, shifting your portfolio. You don't wait till the opportunity comes, you create the opportunity. That way when you start pitching and reaching out to brands, you can show, hey, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing. Whether it was paid or not, it's about honing that skill set, practicing that skill set, and then showing what you're capable of. I always tell people, you look at people where they are and not where they came from. And I want to say that because I didn't get hired by tourism boards. I wasn't working for hotels and all this other stuff overnight. I did it through consistency. I built social proof. I built social relationship by constantly showing up, constantly taking advantage of opportunities to show over and over again, and not giving up after the first no. The first no is just a pivot shift in perspective to say maybe not this person, or maybe not this person at this time, and now I can focus more energy to other potential clients, other potential hotel brands, travel, commercial brands, and so forth. I used everything at my disposal. I wrote blogs. I reached out to write blogs for other people. I wrote Google reviews. I did everything. I wanted to use everything at my disposal, using my own personal storytelling, my own personal The voice. People say I have an amazing voice. So I leaned into that. Started doing more voiceovers. Started looking on YouTube how to do better storytelling and implementing that, finding ways to implement that. So how do you make that shift? The first thing is stop waiting for permission. Go out there and do it now. Brands are not looking for just big people and big following and everything else. They're looking for the right person and the right following. They're looking for somebody that can bring a return on investment. How do you do that? Storytelling, narratives, like all that. Like, you have to learn it, and don't just be on YouTube or buying somebody's course and everything else just to look at it. Find ways to implement it. Find ways to practice it. Find ways to bring solutions to problems. If you see a brand or a hotel or something have, poor imagery, poor videos, and you can do something to uplift that or be a solution, find that way so that you can pitch that solution for that. People want answers. Marketing that actually brings revenue, that brings sales, that brings proper and good awareness and exposure, because all exposure is not good exposure if it doesn't lead to, just quite frankly, dollar signs. So you have to go ahead and start taking the initiative into your own hand. Also, the other thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to pitch. You're going to have to get comfortable pitching. You have to pitch yourself, sell yourself, pitch the brands. The biggest opportunities that I've had, I had to pitch for myself. I had to go put myself in front and say, hey, this is what I can do, or look, what can we do here? You have to do that. There's just no way around it. Value from this video, go ahead and comment, and share. And then you can check also for my community. That'll be linked in my Substack in the description. But look, if you're trying to make that transition, find people. Don't be afraid to reach out to others. You can reach out to me, leave me a comment. I'll send the resources that I have. I'll send whatever free stuff that I have. And then I have my paid community where you have more access to me and to pick my brain for different stuff as well. This is something now that is not easy. It is work. You're going to have to work, but you got this. You definitely can do this. You have to be comfortable with hearing no, but the one yes that you get makes up for all the no's that you do receive. And you have to be diligent and consistent. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to transition to be that content creator, because you need to work not only on the content creation side, working on your uniqueness. Like, that should be your niche, your uniqueness, your way of storytelling, your way of shooting, your way of presenting. That should be your uniqueness. That should be your niche. You have to be personable. You have to have good soft skills. You have to be able to be timely, deliver on time, or at least communicate. Communication is the biggest, deal breaker if you don't know how to communicate. And you can always over communicate. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of these foundational pieces of how to transition into that content creation, whether you're just a regular photographer or videographer, you're a wedding person, somebody that just has a phone. Like, you can do it. You just have to start with what you have and then build from that and build that momentum there. All you have is all you need to get started. But yeah, let me know if you need anything else. I get a lot of response that you want me to dive into deeper, give you use cases and everything else. I'll make another video. But until next time, I want y'all to keep on rolling.